Pagan all the way. Ha ha ha. Greetings all and welcome to Max Bauer's Pagan Holiday Special. Today we're going to take a real quick look at where our holidays come from. I'll tell you straight off the bat that there is no such thing as a Christian holiday, even though this webpage would tell you otherwise. They don't exist. We ain't got any. They all come from Catholicism, and they all get them from paganism. Well, we'll just take a real brief look. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because honestly, if you celebrate this stuff, it doesn't matter a whole great deal, but you might find it interesting as to where it comes from. I generally don't need focusing on things that aren't going to affect anyone's salvation, and celebrating Christmas is probably not going to affect anybody's salvation. It's just one of those things that in a few places in the Bible, it equates this with paganism. So, you may or may not want to participate. We'll get into it. Let's take a look at the holidays here that we have. Epiphany, which is one that we don't really have in the States. I really don't know too much about it, but it happens in January 6th, and it's something to do with what Jesus is doing. I don't know anything about it. I can tell you right now, it has nothing to do with Jesus, though. That's kind of the cover story. It has something about, when the Magi visited baby Jesus. Oh, okay, when the wise men. All right, well, whatever. St. Andrew's Day. Don't know who this guy is. November 30th, huh? Yeah, don't know. Never heard of that one. Good Friday. That, of course, is your crucifixion of Jesus there. Nobody knows when that happened. So I guess they got to have something because it's celebrated before Easter or the Feast of Ishtar, the fertility goddess there on the spring equinox, I think it is, for the Easter, which is the real meaning behind that. Mardi Gras, we know that's got to be totally of God, right? Didn't he wipe those people out a few years ago there in New Orleans? They were doing the Mardi Gras or something. This is the last day of good eating, right? Before Lent begins. So just so everyone knows, I guess when you fast, you can totally go out and fornicate and do all the drugs you want and eat as much as you want, right up until that moment where you don't eat meat. Okay. That's their Catholic thing. St. Patrick's Day, that has to do with the solstice also. And all of these things, and what shows that they're pagan is that they've all got little gods associated with them. Like St. Patrick's Day has the little leprechaun guy, the little drunk leprechaun. St. Patrick, St. Valentine, we got the little baby with the little bow and arrow, right? Yeah, 3rd century Roman saint is not what St. Valentine's Day is about. Easter Sunday, here we go. Feast of Ishtar there with the fertility, the egg for fertility, and the little bunny rabbit, right? Halloween, boy, that's a total Christian holiday right there, right? That's straight out of the Bible. Christmas, where we got our nice little trees, wherever that comes from. Is this a Jesus tree? It's not a Christmas tree, it's a Jesus tree, right? And our boughs of holly or whatever. Where does that come from? What does this have to do with Jesus? I don't know. Well, we'll take a look. Oh, look, every Sunday. How is that a holiday? Oh, because the Pope said so. That's why that's the holiday now, is because the Pope says so. No, there's no such thing as a Christian holiday. The only day that you could say would be a Christian holiday would be Saturday, not Sunday. And that's really just for the Jews, because that was their sign between them and his people. But, in the old Romans there, Paul said that you don't need to worry about the Sabbath days and the feasts and all that stuff. So you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about Passover and all that, because it's all done away with. Once Jesus died on the cross, all of those signs that were foreshadowing of his coming, they're no longer needed, because the event has happened. We don't need any more remembrances. We don't need to know the foreshadowing, right? So, you can make a case for Saturday in here if some people follow the Jewish traditions in that, and there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with celebrating stuff. And nothing wrong with celebrating all this stuff. You just be aware of where it comes from. We'll move on here to this is the Christian religious holiday calendar, and I haven't heard of half of this stuff. And they're all Roman Catholic holidays. Look at this. The 6th, the 12th, 2nd, 14th, 17th. All of these St. George's Day. Who? Trinity Sunday? I mean, come on now. You're just making stuff up now, right? All Saints Day. Where does this stuff come from? Now, all of these days correspond to pagan holy days. That's why there's so many of them. Like I said, Christianity ain't got nothing. And we are now rolling into the Christmas season. Now we're about mid-November. We got Thanksgiving coming up, which is our American national holiday. But we're going to roll into Christmas. And I bring this up occasionally to people, and they tell me I'm full of it. Well, we're going to take a look here in the Bible of what it says about Christmas. Specifically, Jeremiah 10. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So he is talking to the Jews. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Okay, so we're talking about heathens, not godly people. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay, so we are talking about heathens and the ways of the heathens, and a warning against, warning to the Jews to say, you know, watch out for these guys. You got to watch out for them. They're going to lead you astray. And if there's anything the Jews know about, it's being led astray. The old 400 years of slavery and their temple getting burned down and all that stuff. They know about getting whatever. For the customs of the people are in vain. So we're talking about heathens with vain customs. Now, is Christmas a vain custom? Huh? Did are you worried about what your neighbor got for Christmas, or your brother, or your sister, or did you get the best present for somebody? Do you get the best present, or did you buy the best present, or do you have the most lights on your house and just the prettiest house in the neighborhood? What do you think he's talking about here? For the customs of the people are vain. Moving on. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. Now, I could be wrong here, but I don't think this is a metaphor for anything. I honestly think that means cutting down a tree out of the forest, work of hands, the workman with the... Yeah, he's got the axe and he cuts the tree down out of the forest. So let's see where this is going here. We're talking about a vain custom by the heathens where they're cutting a tree down out of the forest with an axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Now, I could be crazy here, but does this not say don't cut a freaking evergreen tree down and drag it into your house and deck it up with all kinds of crap and put it in a stand and sit it in your living room? Does the Bible not specifically say not to do that? It does. Now, it does go on here to say, the upright is as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it as them to do good. I'm assuming he's speaking about the tree. I don't really quite understand that verse, but I liken it to, if you have a problem with this and you want to follow the Bible and you don't want to get a Christmas tree, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying gifts and being with your family and having a meal. But decking up your house and decking up everything else with all kinds of crap is, worshiping your pagan deity on there in Christmas. I believe it's Horus on Christmas is one of them. Horus was born on the 25th. So you're participating in idol worship. And if you got a problem with that, and you don't want to do it, that's fine. But don't go to your neighbor's house, and if he's got a Christmas tree there, go, oh, that's pagan. Oh, you're Luciferian and blah, 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 blah. Because, some people don't care. I don't care. This book right here, the Bible is telling you, it's not a big deal because the tree ain't going to hurt you. It's just pointing out this is a practice of what the heathens do. It's paganism. And I've mentioned this a couple of times briefly to people who go to church. And I say, in the Bible, it talks about not cutting down trees because the churches have Christmas celebrations and this, and they have a Christmas tree in the church. And I go, well, the Bible says you're not supposed to do that. So if there's anyone who I would expect not to have a Christmas tree, it's going to be the church. But, people want to call me an idiot. I'm just going to point this out, that it says you probably don't want to participate in that. And it's not that the tree is bad or the celebration and eating with your friends and buying people gifts is bad. It's that it's celebration of a pagan deity, which is idol worship. And that's what God has a problem with. Now, most people don't know it's idol worship. They think it's for Christ's birth. Because, you got the cover story of the manger and the wise men and all that stuff. But that's just a cover story. That isn't what it really means. That isn't where the tradition goes back to. So just putting it out there. So we're going to move on to Wikipedia. Actually has some pretty good information on this stuff. They tell you exactly about where it comes from, and this is all back to Roman Catholicism again. But it goes back to, as far as America, the 17 and 1800s is where it is. Because I thought, in the olden days, the old Protestants that came over here from England were pretty good Bible-thumping guys. Why would they be doing the Christmas tree thing? And they weren't. It was brought over in the mid-1800s. So here we got a Christmas carol, Deck the Halls. A lot of these carols come from the same old pagan mysticism crap. Look, deck the halls with boughs of holly. What are boughs of holly doing in there? What does that have to do with Christmas? Fa la 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 la. Oh, I guess they couldn't think of a verse. It's the season to be jolly. Okay. Fa la 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 la. Okay. Another verse you couldn't think of. We're going to don on our gay apparel, so we got to get dressed up for something. We got a celebration. We got a celebration because Horus is coming back, right? With that winter solstice. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. Yuletide carol. What is that about? That sounds like maybe Odin's Day or Thor's Day or something. See the blazing Yule before us. Well, what is this Yule we're talking about? Shouldn't we be talking about, Christ or something in here? I don't understand. So we look up to Wikipedia and we find out what Yule is. A pagan religious festival observed by the historical Germanic peoples. Aha! It's the Germans. Yeah, and Odin and Thor and all those guys. This is what all this is relating to. The god Odin and the pagan Anglo-Saxon Mordranicht. Yeah. So here's where a lot of your little carols are coming from. That they're kind of rolling into the whole Christmas thing because, hey, it's a pagan free-for-all on Christmas, right? Hey, all kinds of crap going on. Has nothing at all to do with Christianity. Here's your origins of holly, and I like their Celtic Ankh thing here, which is a lot like the Roman Catholic dealy, and about how important holly is to them and their pagan celebrations. How lovely. Here's what I was speaking to earlier about the solstices and what these celebrations are really earmarking. Summer solstice, June 21st. I'm sure the Catholics have a holiday somewhere in there. I didn't bother to look it up. Winter solstice, here's your birth of Horus, the sun god. And then we got our equinoxes. First day of spring, March 20. Here's your St. Patrick's Day. And also Easter is kind of rolled into there. Easter is part of that too. Autumn equinox, let's see, September 22nd. What do we have around there? I'm not aware of any holidays there. But this is how they line up. So, we'll talk a little bit about Easter. We have Easter as really all of these gods and goddesses. And the reason that they're all different names is because when you go from one land to another, all of these ancient mystery Babylon things are as old as time. People have been worshiping this stuff. And over the years, the names have slightly changed along with the language. Aphrodite, everyone knows who Aphrodite is, right? Astoreth, probably not so much. Astarte, Demeter, Hathor, Ishtar. This is the one that the Feast of Ishtar is what Easter is named for. So they picked that one particular one, but all of these people are all the same. The goddess of fertility, which is why you've got bunnies and eggs as the symbol of fertility. You got nothing at all to do with the resurrection of Christ. Nothing at all. Yeah, here we go. Day of the sun by the pagans, we willingly accept this name, for the day of the light of the world arose, and on this day the justice shone forth. Oh, that's about the English word Sunday. Well, whatever. Who cares about that? This is a pretty good article, actually, in, what is it, The Guardian, where they go through the nuts and bolts of the Easter pagan festival. Talking about Inanna, Ishtar, who was hung naked on a stake and was subsequently resurrected and ascended from the underworld. Oh! One of the oldest resurrection myths is the Egyptian Horus, born on December 25th. So this is a pretty good article. We'll put that up on in the description for you guys to take a look at. We're going to look at some of these other holidays real quick. St. Patrick's Day, the Feast of St. Patrick. We got our little idol here we get to worship. See, he's got the little halo, the little sun behind him. Good old St. Patrick, who is in commemoration of the solstice. Good old Catholic St. Patrick. And then we have here, Pagans and St. Patrick's Day, the real meaning of the holiday. And this guy gets into... if you want to read this, we'll put this in the description too. He talks about the shamrocks and the different, the color green and the different meanings of it. This guy is from the area apparently and seems to know what he's talking about. I didn't understand the idea of having a little drunk elf or whatever it is for St. Patrick's Day. Well, what does St. Patrick's Day have to do with drinking beer? Everyone's got to get tanked, right, on St. Patrick's Day? Something to that effect. Anyway, this has to do with the equinox or the solstice or one of them things. Valentine's Day. We got our typical little angel with the little bow and arrow thing. I had always thought this holiday was a Hallmark holiday, but no, it's pretty important to the Catholics, and other countries consider it important against Christianity, because we look on the old wiki article way down at the bottom of what other countries think about it. The Nation of Islam recognizes it as a Catholic holiday. So they ban anything red, and they ban anything having to do with St. Patrick's Day. So it's not just a Hallmark thing. It's a pagan holiday. That's where that comes from. We'll go to, this is an about.com thing. But February 14th in Juno. The Romans celebrated a holiday on February 14th to honor Juno, fructifier, queen of the Roman gods and goddesses. Aha! As well as the goddess of marriage. Okay. So that's where it comes from. And I'm sure there are much better articles out there, but see, this has nothing at all to do with anything Christian. Certainly, why would the Catholics be involved in a celebration to honor the queen of the Roman gods and goddesses? Well, it doesn't have anything at all to do with Christianity. Nothing. But if it has nothing to do with Christianity, why are these countries down here, the Islamists, so upset about it? There you have it for the Max Bauer Pagan Holiday Special. As I said, by no means should you need to, rule off celebrating any of these holidays with your family or people you know, or go out and call people heathens or Luciferians or whatever. To each their own. This is just information as far as where these things come from. It's up to you whether or not you want to celebrate them. I think in leaving now, I'll leave you with the the Easter celebration for the new Pope. The last couple of years, we're all hailing Lucifer. So I guess everyone bow your heads as the Catholics do their thing, and hail Lucifer in their Easter celebration.
Flammas eius, Lucifer matutinus inveniat. Ille inquam Lucifer qui nescito casum, Christus filius tuus, Christus filius tuus.
Ille inquam Lucifer qui nescito casum, Christus filius tuus,